Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. We're in the FW-190 A-8 today. I'm going to look at setting up the HOTAS or the joystick controls. My HOTAS I have is X56 SideTech. You'll probably have a different one, but I'm going to show you setting it up on this stick. I'll explain where I've set all of the different controls on the HOTAS so you can emulate that as best you can if you like on your controller. It'll certainly make it easier if you're going to go on and watch our tutorial videos. But the main thing you'll get out of this today is which are the most important controls that you should bind to your HOTAS. So let's get straight on with it. We're going to go to options. In fact, before we look at setting up the controls, we should go to the special options and just show that there are relevant special options for this aircraft. So special, and we're just going to find it. A8, there it is. Auto rudder. We suggest having that off. Whatever control setup you've got on, that seems to be better off. Takeoff assistance is up to you. It starts off 100%. I mean, it's not a difficult plane to control, like, for instance, an I-16 or something that's much less stable. It is very stable. So unless you're really struggling, we suggest taking off takeoff assistance, and there are no customized cockpits at the moment. So onto the controls. So just in case this is your first aeroplane, we'll go through this. We can select the aircraft here that we're going to set up. So Focke-Wulf 190 A8 real is what we want to set up. I don't know what easy is, but do real. Okay, and roughly explained, this is a list. This column is actions, and there are going to be hundreds of actions for this aircraft, but we'll only need about a dozen set up on our HOTAS to do just about everything. Category is what category that action comes under. Keyboard is the keyboard bind that you've got set to that particular action, and by default pretty much everything is bound to a keyboard binder standard. Here is the left side of the HOTAS, so the thrust stick side of the HOTAS, what bind you've got set, and here is the right side of the HOTAS, the control stick side. So we're going to get started with the axis controls where we always start. So under here we're going to go to axis commands. Now I've already got mine set because I've obviously been flying it already, so we're just going to tape over the top. First one down at the bottom of axis controls is zoom view. It's something you will need to be able to fly, so I'm going to set it on the left side of my HOTAS. That's the thrust stick, and on top of the HOTAS I've got a turny knob that I can use to zoom in and zoom out my view. Very difficult to fly without this, so I'm going to double click on there, and I'm going to turn the knob fully left and then right, and you can see it's picked it up, and that's that one done there. Next, I'm going to have my throttle, and it's just a single engine aircraft, so this is the left HOTAS side again. I'm going to double click the mouse and move the throttle up and then down. Okay, and then I can just test it to make sure it's picked it up, and that looks fine. Next is the rudder, the roll and the pitch. So we're moving over to the right side of the HOTAS, the control stick side. So we've got the rudder first of all. I do not have pedals, rudder pedals for this. You may have, in which case you'll have a different column up here, but I don't. I have the twist stick part of my stick, so I twist it left, twist it right, center it. Okay, I'm going to test that. Okay. And with the rudder, roll and pitch, you'll all want to put axis tune on. If you don't, you will really struggle to fly this aeroplane or any aircraft. So first thing to put is dead zone. If that little square dot there is outside of the black area, it means my stick is not centering itself properly, and I need to cut that out with dead zone. So I want to go like that until that red dot is in the plateaued section there, so it's giving no input in its neutral position. Okay, then I want to add some curvature. How much curvature you want to add is up to you. I do a standard of 25 for all aircraft, for all axes, because it's just easier to remember that way. And what that does is give us more detail, more resolution, more control over the small parts of the movement, and less on the large parts of the movement. You'll very rarely ever use any large parts of axis movement. Okay, so that's that. Next is the roll, so I'm going to double click there, move the stick left, move it right. Okay, test it, and let's go and tune that as well. We don't need a dead zone, we do need our curvature, so let's slam that up to 25. Okay, and the pitch forward and backwards. Okay, test it, center it, axis tune. I think we can get away without a dead zone there. Just put the curvature on. Boom, and that is our axis done. So the next we're going to start setting up are the more kind of binary type of commands and controls. So we're going to go and use the search function now. First thing we want to type in is start. We want our auto stop and our auto start set. So there's start procedure on the left. HOTAS base at the top right is a two-way switch, and I'm going to set that for start, and I'm going to do another one. Stop procedure there. Bosh. Okay, next we're going to look for flaps. So in here, flaps. Okay, we've got flaps takeoff. We've got flaps landing, takeoff, and up. I only set 2 of these. I've got a 2-way switch on the right bottom of the thrust control lever, and I'm going to use the up position of that for the up, the down position for that for landing. Landing is fully down, and I'm not going to bind anything to take off because you'll only ever do that once per flight. It's not, difficult to do when you're on the ground. I'm actually going to press that in the cockpit, so that's how I'm going to do that. And while we're here, we can save a bit of time. We've got radiator flaps open and closed. These are for the engine. It's very important we do have these set. So I'm going to jump over to my right HOTAS control stick. I've got 3 4-way hat switches on the kind of top of the joystick. The bottom right one, I'm going to use the up and down function of that 4-way switch to do my radiator flaps. So I'm going to do close, it's going to be the down, and open is going to be up. Okay. Next, on my left HOTAS, my control stick, there's another one I want to put in, and this is going to be a safety catch, which you do need to bind something to. So safety, this one here, there is a kind of single button on the right hand side of the thrust lever that I usually use for an autopilot engage and disengage. In this case, I'm going to use it for a safety. It's on the top of the actual control stick on the aircraft, and like I said, we need something bound for it to be able to use the guns or the cannons. So I'm going to do that there. Okay, that's the left HOTAS done. We're now going to go to the right HOTAS. So back in here, we're going to go trigger. We've got 4 different types of trigger. A is the MG131, B is the MG151s, B2 is the bombs, and we don't know what T is. So I've got 3 triggers on my right control stick. So trigger 1, the main trigger, is going to be the MG131. The kind of second trigger is going to be the MG151. So to fire the cannons and the guns at the same time, I've got to press trigger 1 and 2 at the same time. You might have a 2-stage trigger. In that case, I would recommend that. And the bombs is going to be kind of the third trigger that I may use for locking targets and different aircraft. And I'm going to put that on the right stick there. Okay, next is going to be our trim. So under here, let's go trim. We only have elevator or pitch trim. That's all we have. I've got a 4-way hat at the top right of the top right control stick, and I'm going to use the up and down functions for this. So the down function down and the up function for up. That's our trim done, very easy. Next we're going to go on to the wheel brakes. So let's just see if we can find brake. We've got both at the same time. Be very careful when you're using this. It's very easy to tip over. On the right control stick down at the very bottom, we've got a trigger very far aft of the control stick that I'm going to always use for both wheel brakes. Okay. And on the top of the joystick, amongst the 3 4-way hats, I've got the bottom right one, which I've also used for the engine cowling radiator. The left and right function of that I'm going to use for wheel brake left and right, which you will need for taxiing. So left, right. And that's it. That's everything I've got set up on the FW-190 A-8. That is a basic skeleton that allows you to just about do everything you need to. If you want to go and add more stuff to your stick, then go ahead and do that. But that's all I've done. I hope that helps, and see you later.